Hey guys, what is going on? Inception here and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be doing Team of the Season squad builders around the EPL players. So what I'm actually going to do right now is I'm going to have both of my monitors open right now so I can just search up all the different players that I can possibly put in the teams, right? So we're gonna get started with the Foot 18 squad builder, and I'm gonna go ahead and open up the team of the season for the EPL. We're gonna try to do the best we possibly can in regards to the players that you could be putting in your squads and what type of meta teams you can make around them. Now, because it is the Premier League team of the season, there's a lot that you can work with, right? There's a ton that you can work with. My hair just looks so tall today. There's a lot that you can work with. So we're gonna get started with a few players, right? So I think the first player that I'm going to get started with right now is someone like Leroy Sané, right? So Leroy Sané is the type of card that is a left-footed beast, but he doesn't have a 3-star weak foot, or a 4-star weak foot, nor does he have the 4-star skill moves. But he's a beast card, man. I loved using his rare gold at first when I first started playing FIFA in the beginning of the game. He was really, really fun to use. So in regards to Sané's card, there's a couple things that you can do with it. Now, again, when you start off making a team, always start off with the 4-3-2-1. It's the easiest to get really good links with because there's triple links everywhere, right? When you have triple links that are green links, it's easier to get chemistry around that. Now, with someone like Leroy Sané, right, you got someone who's left-footed on the left side. I wouldn't recommend putting him anywhere on the right side because you're going to always have opportunities where you're going to want to do a driven shot across goal, and he's not going to be ideal to use that. So the positions that you would use Leroy Sané is a left center mid, a left forward, left wing, or a left mid, right? So anywhere on the left side of the pitch, he will do a good job at anything essentially, right? So with Leroy Sané's card, we're going to go ahead and see a couple things. So obviously the easy ones is you can make a really cool EPL team, right? So with someone like Leroy Sané in the team, you can put in Gabriel Jesus, for instance, like if you're still a fan of his, and you got the informed version of his card. So right now you can have a 4-3-1-2 setup where you have Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sané as your strikers. And then in the right forward position, you can add someone like Willian to give you that chemistry in the middle, right? So because Leroy Sané already gets that chemistry link on the side there, you can kind of make some cool adjustments to the team now. So since Willian is now in the squad, right, now you can actually put in Goretzka in the team if you really wanted to, and Goretzka will give Leroy Sané that full chemistry. In regards to Willian, Willian is a Brazilian player from the EPL, so if you really want to, you could try, and we're just adjusting the team right now based off of the concept of making a team that is based off of a 4-1-2-2. You can make your center player in general someone like Conte, right? Because if you get Conte in the team, you get a link over here with one of the EPL players, and you get a green link here with Willian. So all he needs right now is to get one link that's either French, because Willian's already on full chemistry, right? So you can get a French player on that side. So if you want to have fun with different types of cards, there's actually this one card that would be worth trying out just for the fun concept, right? In a 4-1-2-2, it would definitely be worth trying out. Is a card called Cyprian. I think that's what his name is. He's a very good card because I used his card in the beginning of the year, and he was kind of cool to use in those positions, right? Because Cyprian, I'll show you guys what his actual stats are. If you look at his stats, he has very good all-round stats. He's high-medium, right? 82 pace, 80 shooting, 82 passing, 77 defending, 84 physical, 83 dribbling. So that's actually very good to have for a midfield. As you guys know, it's always good to have a midfield that can attack and defend. So right now, right, you have this link with Cyprian as a center mid, and you have this link with Conte. Conte is already on full chemistry. Goretzka is very easy to get the chemistry on because Goretzka only needs one German, right, from the Bundesliga. So you can get something simple like Jerome Boateng, and then you can put on the side David Alaba, right? So right now, Goretzka also has full chemistry. So this, right off the bat, being a colored team is really fun. There's a really fun concept going on here, right? It's a good team so far. On the right side, right, you can work with a lot of different things if you truly want to. So because he's French from the League One, that's what your team would have to be based off of a little bit, right? So he would either need one solid link with a center back that's either an icon or a player that's a French center back in League One. And we'll look through a couple of players to see if there's any actual good options for people to use. I'll choose the French national players from the League One. I think it's called League One. League One, there it is. And then we're going to go ahead and search for center backs in general that's got some decent pace. So from the League One, there aren't actually good players in general. So in the center back position, you would have to put some sort of icon there, right? So there's a couple players you can put there. I would probably look into getting someone like Laurent Blanc in that position, because if you get Laurent Blanc, you get that full green link with Cyprian. The right side you can have fun with. Right now, you could either choose someone who is a right back that is French, because that will give you full chemistry already, or you can kind of like mix and match with it a little bit, right? So in regards to the way that this is set up right now, we're going to go ahead and search for a French player who is a right back. The only player that comes to mind right away is Sidibe, and he plays for Monaco, but I don't think he has a crazy amount of pace, so that's what I'm going to search up right now. So in terms of pace, there's not that many good right backs in general. So Sidibe is a good card because all round he actually has a pretty sick card, right? So Sidibe's card is a French guy. He's a French guy that gives you somewhat of chemistry here and there, right? So he's a French dude, plays in the same league, so he'll get you that green link as well. You don't need the green link, you only need an orange link, so you wouldn't even necessarily have to go with this card. You can even have fun with this and try out a player like Dani Alves in the team. Dani Alves would definitely be an interesting player to use as well. And then in the goalkeeper position, you can use someone like Farman, and like that, you already have an interesting team to work around. And again, with these players, you can get their regular versions of their cards and they'll still play very well. So you can get regular Goretzka. With Laurent Blanc, if you notice that this doesn't really work out for you center back wise, you can take out Laurent Blanc and you can probably try to add someone like this, right? So I'm thinking of players right now. There's Thomas Meunier, who's PSG in Belgium. French center backs, I don't really think they have that many good ones, so I'm going to go search it up right now. So French center backs from the League One, I don't think they're going to have that many, to be honest. If you want, actually, you could kind of switch this up in a way, right? Because maybe you couldn't actually, because Cyprian's a French guy on the right side. Because the thing that I was thinking, right? Because Ter Stegen would also be a very good goalkeeper to have because he's in form, right? And then on the side over here, you can get Varane, right? Put Varane in that position. And in the right back position, you would obviously, the way that this would work out perfectly is if there's a French icon who's a right back, but I don't think there is. So you wouldn't necessarily get full chemistry with some of the cards. So if I search up a right back right now, and this is just right off the top of my head, just some fun teams to make that are somewhat meta, right? You could go Sidibe, but Sidibe wouldn't give Varane full chemistry. So, I don't know, maybe putting Cyprian might be a complication. So we could take out Cyprian for now. We can go with a very generic right side, to be honest. Like, you can go with a very generic... like, I'm just thinking at the top of my head here, but you can go with a very generic one and put Bailly in there. And then get... you could get Farman or De Gea. It honestly doesn't matter. You could put in Valencia in this position. And then Valencia will give you that full chemistry there too. And then you can choose between De Gea and Farman. If you have the money, obviously go with De Gea. So a team like this, you can get the regular versions of the cards and it'll play really well, right? So you can get a regular version of Leroy Sané, Jesus, Willian, Conte, Goretzka, and they'll still play very well. So the reason why I put the best versions of the cards mostly, excuse me, is because it makes it look prettier, right? So this is a good meta team. If you were to switch this in game, you can use a 4-1-2-2, Pogba on the right, Goretzka on the left. Gabriel Jesus would have to be up top. Leroy Sané being left-footed, you want him on the left side. And you got a really cool team here. So with this, you can rock a 4-1-2-2 and have a lot of fun with. If you want to switch to the 4-2-3-1 in game, I've used Goretzka one time as a cam in the beginning. Not this version of the card, but he actually played the cam role pretty decently, right? So you put Pogba off to the left here. In regards to the strikers, I would probably use Leroy Sané up top instead of putting him on the left side, only because he has a very, very solid physical strength, right, to him, and he'll play like a monster up there for sure. Yeah, you could switch to a 4-2-3-1 with this team. You could switch to a 4-3-2-1, and that would also work out as well too. So if we wanted to switch to the false 9 variation of the formation, which I think is the 4-3-3-5, you would put Conte over here. Pogba I'd put off to the left side. Goretzka in the middle. Gabriel Jesus with high work rates is nice to have there. Right off the bat, you could use Gabriel Jesus in the middle, and then you can use Willian off to the side and Leroy Sané on the left side. This is a very well-balanced team as well to have fun with. So that's one type of team that you can make to have fun with a player like Leroy Sané. So the next card we're going to search up here is a player like Salah. So we could go with Salah now. So we're going to go ahead and reset this whole thing here. So with Salah's card, Salah, I wouldn't say that Salah is complicated to put in a team because, again, he's from the EPL, so it's not a bad league to link him up with. But in regards of putting different players, we're going to see if we can switch this up a bit. So players from Egypt, I don't think they really have any good players. So it would be very league and team oriented, right? So if we look at the clubs, we're going to go ahead and search up Liverpool here. Players from Liverpool, and this is not working properly for now for some reason. We're going to open up this right here, and we're going to put in Liverpool. So Liverpool is right over here. We're going to search the players for Liverpool. So they have Mohamed Salah that has like a bunch of variations in the card. They have Sadio Mane. So Sadio Mane, also has a Team of the Season version, and then Roberto Firmino also has a Team of the Season version. So this top three is absolutely disgusting. In game, I would switch Salah off to the left, Sané off to the right, blah blah blah, right? So the cool thing with the 4-3-3 right now, with the top three like this, is you don't have to worry about chemistry links in those positions anymore, right? So you already get all the chemistry links that you need, right? So we're gonna look at some other cool concepts of Team of the Season players you can use. So right off the bat, you can use someone like Fabinho, right? So if you use Fabinho on your team, right, you got a Brazilian player who links up with Firmino, right, that you can get some easy links with here, right? So you have Fabinho, who is Brazilian, links up with Firmino, and now you can put some cool players off to the sides here, right? So with Fabinho being Brazilian, we can search up some Brazilian players that links up with their own respective leagues and their own respective clubs. So right off the bat, the way that I'm thinking is you can have fun and put Paulinho on the team, right? Paulinho being Brazilian gives them that chemistry link on the side there. And then on the left center mid side, you can think of some Brazilian players. Let's see here. So we'll take out the Liverpool here. We'll put in Brazilian players in general. Brazil. And then we'll put in positions, being the center mid position. So we have Felipe Anderson, Bernard, Juilano, Fred, Fernando. There's Fernandinho. We could use Fernandinho in the team actually, which is an interesting one. So with Fabinho being here, we wouldn't have to necessarily use Fabinho. So we can actually use Fernandinho in this position. And Fernandinho being Brazilian, that gives that full chemistry link. Actually helps out a little bit more because now if you link him up with Paulinho, you can now do a right-sided Barcelona team. Like if you want to do Semedo in the team, now you already have the full chemistry link over there. So now you can have fun with the middle as well. So because Fernandinho is Brazilian, you can now kind of make a team around a Calcio A if you really wanted to, right? So right off the side here, we can put in someone like... thinking at the top of my head here. So we got Brazilian and then Barcelona link. We could put a Barcelona link that's Brazilian. Let's see here. So we have Alan from the Calcio A. Alan gets that link with a Napoli player. Napoli player left back would be Mario Rui. Allen, Talisca, Ronaldinho, Mossoró, Dentinho. Okay, so there's not really that many center mids from Brazil that are like really solid, like Fernandinho and Paulinho. But this link right now is already like a really cool concept, right? This is a sick concept to work with. The players are very generic in terms of ones that are really good and really bad, and I don't want to make an easy EPL team because that would be the easiest thing to do right now. But I don't really want to go with that. But I mean, at the same time, if you really want to have fun with your team, right, you can get Otamendi, although his acceleration is really poor, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend using him that much. But yeah, I mean, actually, Fernandinho already gets that full chemistry link. So what you can actually do, Pope is from Burnley. So Burnley, not really much you can work with. De Gea, you got Team of the Season there. Center back, which other center backs was there? There was Vertonghen, there was Otamendi, and then there was Kyle Walker. So center back wise, they don't really got much to work with. So we can go with someone like Eric Bailly. Ivory Coast player gets that link with De Gea, so all he needs is another EPL player. You could use Vertonghen. I think Vertonghen would be an interesting player to use. I don't think it would necessarily be the most ideal, but I think he would definitely be interesting. You can even put Christian Eriksen here on the side because he's actually a really sick center mid. I already used him one time. Left back, they don't have left backs, but they do have, I swear they had a very solid one. So right now you got the Danish link and then Vertonghen. Vertonghen doesn't get full chemistry, but Bailly does. So Bailly needs that chemistry link right there. Christian Eriksen off to the side here. With Vertonghen, you could, the symbol one is Danny Rose, but I don't think Danny Rose is that great. So we'll put like a left back from the EPL, so the Premier League. Let's see what we got here. So we got Ashley Young, who has a card, but isn't left-footed. Moreno, Masuaku, Patrick Van Aanholt, Andrew Robertson. I think that Ashley Young potentially would play better than Andrew Robertson, just because he's got more pace, right? Like if we actually look at his pace stats, he has 92 acceleration with 88 sprint speed, and that's just very nice to have. But you know, if the right foot aspect really annoys you, which I feel like it will for a lot of people, you could try to kind of switch that out, and you could put in Andrew Robertson, because Andrew Robertson is actually left-footed, and it would have like you would have a really cool kind of aspect working here, right? This team has 5 million coins, which isn't crazy expensive, but it's a very, very cool looking team for sure, right? So this is a very interesting squad. If you want to be like super generic with like really good players in your team, you would take these bad boys out. You would put in someone like Kyle Walker, and then you could put in someone like Dele Alli, right? And then you would have a really cool concept working for you. Like the only player that'd be missing in your team is basically an Eric Bailly, because with this team, there's somewhat of a meta working there, right? So if we look at all these specifics, right, you can rock the 4-1-2-2. Firmino as a cam would be the most ideal in my opinion. Mane on the right, Salah on the side. Eriksen with a 5-star weak foot out to the side. No defensive stats, but he's a very good player to have in general. Midfield, Dele Alli. So a very attacking oriented team. And then you would have a very decent back four with a very good goalkeeper in the back. So you kind of have a really cool concept working here. You can actually start off the team like this if you really want to, if you don't really care to get that full chemistry link with Salah and Mane. But to get full chemistry, it'd be better to switch to the 4-3-3 or the 4-3-2-1. It's nice to start off with the 4-3-2-1 at the beginning of the game, right? Because you can put Salah off here to the side, Mane off to the left, blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets full chemistry, right? So you got a cool concept working there as well. Now, I'm looking at some of the players here. We got Danish, we got Andrew Robertson from Scotland, Belgium, Spanish, English. Most of these players, in order for you to link them very nicely in squads, you kind of need to put them in the EPL, right? The only ones that you can kind of do some really cool things with is someone like Roberto Firmino and Fernandinho. Brazilian is very nice to link with other players. English, there's not really many English players from different leagues that are actually that great, right? So it would be kind of tough to to judge, right? So we're gonna make a new squad here, and we're gonna check out some other players, right? So we're gonna go back to the Premier League, and we're gonna search up a player like Lukaku. So Lukaku is an interesting one because Lukaku is Belgian, right? So Lukaku you can make a pretty sick team with. Right off the bat, if you use Lukaku in your team, if you use him as a right striker, he'll actually play that role really well because when he cuts inside and does that finesse shot with his left foot, he's very, very good at doing that. And if you put him off to the left side, he's obviously going to be very, very good with taking driven shots across goal with his left foot, right? So definitely look into doing that as well. With this, you can actually go with a Calcio A team, right? So if you really want to, you could put Nainggolan in the middle here. So I'm just going to use his Christmas card here. You could put Nainggolan in the middle. You already got that Belgian link up top with Lukaku there, right? You might actually be able to start off with a 4-1-2-2 because 4-1-2-2, unfortunately, it actually links up to the right side and the left side. Oh, but that's the wide variation. I'm not sure. Does the other variation, it's just this cam, I think, that they need to link to. 4-1-2-2. I'm being so blind right now for some reason. There it is. So it does link up to the left center mid and the right center mid. So Lukaku over here. I would probably hang out with Mertens in this position as a cam. The right striker, Napoli player. interesting. Napoli player, Calcio, Dybala, Napoli, Belgian, Lukaku. Lukaku would need one chemistry link to get him, so let me see if I can actually put Pogba in this team right away. You got that French link there, right? French links with Matuidi maybe, so you could put him. You could put Nainggolan off to the side here. You can put Batshuayi actually in this team and have like a really fun concept working with physical players up top, so that would be kind of cool. The center defensive mid you can make into Matuidi, so that you get that chemistry link there with Paul Pogba. Which actually I don't even think you would need, because if you put Valencia in this team right away, you actually might not need this. So if you put Valencia, right? Valencia would get that link. You can have fun and use a high work rate player as your CDM and Nainggolan. And then what you could do actually is put Florenzi in this position, because if you put Florenzi in this position, you can work with a really cool concept here, right? So you could put Manolas in your team. You could put Alisson as your goalkeeper. Alisson as your goalkeeper to get that full link there with Manolas, so he doesn't need links anymore. The left back, you could put Jordan Lukaku. You could put Jordan Lukaku, who actually has a really good left back card for just a rare gold card, right? And then in the center back position, you could put another Calcio player. So you could put someone like Mehdi Benatia or something, right? So I don't know how to pronounce his name. I swear it is Mehdi Benatia. Maybe it doesn't search when I put up Mehdi. So let me actually see his name here, because it's not showing up for some reason. So I kind of want to see what the reason for that would be. So because I'm obviously spelling it wrong, but I want to see why I'm spelling it wrong, because I want to see how to actually pronounce his name here. So Benatia. Oh, so it's Mehdi, but it's not with an H first, it's with a D first. Cool, gotcha. So this team right here does get full chemistry, even without the loyalty link, so this is kind of cool. So you have a player in the cam position who's short, but has very good passing stats in general. If we look at his passing, he has, let's see, 89 short passing with 81 long passing. This is a team that you can easily make with the regular versions of the cards, right? So you wouldn't necessarily have to work too hard to make a team like this. In-game, I wouldn't necessarily start off like this. In-game, if you do actually end up playing like this, I would probably put Florenzi off to the side here, Lukaku to the left, or you might, yeah, Lukaku off to the left, Nainggolan off to the right side. No, Nainggolan in the CDM position, Florenzi on the right side, Pogba on the left side, and then play it like this, right? So Pogba has a 4-star weak foot, Florenzi does not, and then you have Nainggolan with high work rates, but he's a bulldog running up and down the pitch. So not necessarily ideal to have someone who is high work rates. You actually could work with something else in this position if you truly wanted to, right? So you get that full chemistry link there. If you don't want to use Nainggolan because you don't want to have a player that has high work rates, you can easily take him out and just put in someone like Alon in your team. And you might even be able to just start it off like this, right? So, oh, Batshuayi doesn't get the links because he's not Belgian. So that's interesting. You could get a Calcio player, but for the sake of having fun with Batshuayi, I would say to put Nainggolan in the team. That's a really cool concept to make too. With this team, it's actually very easy to switch around the players too, because with this team, you can switch to a 4-1-2-2. You could switch to the 4-2-3-1 on the trot, right? You would put Mertens off to the side here, Florenzi off to the right side, Nainggolan right side, Lukaku. You can actually play Lukaku on the left side, and he would actually play that role really well because he's left-footed, right? Very attacking-minded player, because he tries to beat the defensive line. So as a left mid player, he's actually going to play that role quite decently, right? And you got a really cool concept working here too. If you want to switch to the 4-3-3 variation as well, you can do that too. Lukaku off to the left, Batshuayi in the middle, Mertens off to the right, Florenzi over here on the right, or Florenzi on the right side, Nainggolan in the middle, and then Pogba off to the left center mid. So it's nice to have a team that you can just rotate with all the time. So you don't have 4-star skill moves up top, but you have a really cool concept to work with players who are physical type players, and you can try that kind of game style. And to be honest, 2.5 million coins is not really bad to try out this team and just have a lot of fun with it, right? 2.5 million is not really that bad to work with. Also with this team, majority of the players, I think all the players are actually in their original position. So this is another type of team that you can make that is a fun concept to make. But Batshuayi's, I will say that you would have to get Lukaku and Batshuayi's cards at least in the inform ranges to make them better players, because everybody else are good as regular cards. Florenzi is another card you would have to buy as a center mid because originally he is a right back. So you would kind of have to work with that as well. But you got another fun concept here to work with with a player like Lukaku. So now we're going to go ahead and make, I guess, our final team, because there's not really much to go with these players in terms of the nationalities that they can link up with. So we're going to try to put a very, very interesting lineup up top, right, with Heung-min Son, Vardy, and Riyad Mahrez. I had to think there for a second. I couldn't remember who it was in particular. 4-3-2-1 we're going to start off with. As you guys know, we're going to go actually start this entire thing here. So we're going to go ahead and put the 4-3-2-1. We're going to put Jamie Vardy in the team. Jamie Vardy's going to get easily full chemistry in the squad. So we're going to put Mahrez here. Bam! Got that full chemistry link there. Heung-min Son. Bam! You already got a kind of concept working for you here where you can now use a really good starting lineup up top, right? So Son could be either your cam or your striker. Vardy has to be a striker, and most preferably on the right side, so right striker in a 4-1-2-2. But Mahrez or Son can be your cam. Now, for me personally, I would probably make Son the striker because of how god tier his finishing stats are, and I think Mahrez with his agility would just work really nicely in the cam spot. So you already have this working out for you. Riyad Mahrez only needs one more chemistry. Son needs 2 players to give him chemistry. So right off the bat, you can actually put in Christian Eriksen. So Christian Eriksen would give Heung-min Son full chemistry, and then you can get a very good CDM in someone like Conte. So now you already got that full chemistry link working there with an EPL squad. Conte only needs one more person to give him the chemistry link, so he can get a French link. You don't necessarily have to go again with an EPL team. You can now switch it up if you really want to, because Eriksen only needs one more player to give him chemistry. To be honest, I don't think there's many EPL players. So you can go with a left-sided French team. And a left-sided French team would be interesting, right? So we're going to search up some players here who are French that are somewhat meta. Because on the right side, we had a little bit of complications there, because it was a little bit tough to kind of link up with very, very good players in those positions. We're going to go ahead and search up the positions to be anywhere on the left side. So we're going to look for a left back from the French league. We have Petit. Oh, this is actually a fun one. You can actually put in Russillian in here, and he has a fantastic card, right? So you got that French thing with Conte. You need one more French player to get that link. So I think there's a very good amount of French center backs that you can actually put in your team. So we're going to go ahead and put a center back here to link up with certain players. You can actually start off with Raphael Varane, which would be interesting too. So if you put Varane in the team, right, you can now make the rest of the team French if you really want to, right? So Varane here has a really good card here. If he does anything well in the World Cup, he'll have a very nice upgrade on his card. With Varane being the player in that position, we can now put in someone like Ter Stegen, right? Good goalkeeper that has the leg save trait. On the side here, you can put another center back from the Liga Santander. So we can kind of switch this up now and put a Liga Santander right side. So you got a really cool hybridized team in general here working for you. So we're going to go ahead and search up just regular Liga Santander center backs that are decent to see what we can actually link up with here in this position. So center backs from Liga Santander. We have Sergio Ramos, who's French, also from Real Madrid, so that works out. But then you would have to work with a Spanish player on the right side, unless they actually have a good right back. So I'm actually going to remove that just for a second, just to see if they have any good right back. So they do have Juan Fran, who's 85 pace. So the highest pace player is someone like Nelson Semedo. So you could get someone like Nelson Semedo in that position. Put him here. In this position here, you can get Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos gets that chemistry link. Over here, you could put Modric. Modric wouldn't get full chemistry here, which would be a little bit unfortunate. So we can actually see if there would actually be a way. So French, Croatian, Real Madrid. Links with both center backs, maybe. I mean, you could possibly use a 4-5-1 with this team. So if you use a we'll just experiment with different things here, right? So with the 4-5-1, if we put Conte in the middle here, Eriksen on this side, Mahrez there. So I don't actually get the full chemistry links here because he doesn't get it with Vardy. So he's the only player I think here. No, he's not, because Russillian also doesn't get the chemistry. So let's see a different formation now. We'll try out the 4-3-3-5. Conte in the middle. If we put Modric in the middle, gets that full link right there. Conte's French. So Son here, striker Vardy, Mahrez over here only gets the... Yeah, so with this team, you wouldn't get full chemistry in a lot of different areas as well. So let's see here, 4-3-1-2. Would you be able to start with a 4-3-1-2 is the main question here, because I think it's Conte being French and then nothing else really works for him. That's a little bit of the problem here, because Modric there. If we put Modric here, Modric would have 7 chemistry. Eriksen would have 6. Heung-min Son. This already doesn't work because of the positions with those players. 4-2-3-1. Modric again can't get those links there. Very simply, you could put certain players there. Like you can put Carvajal, but I'm trying to make a team that doesn't have Carvajal in it. You know, so you can have like a pretty decent right back, because Nelson Semedo, I'm going to look for players with pace, because I think Nelson Semedo is the only one that actually has good pace. Nelson Semedo, you can get Alex Vidal, who's Spanish from Barcelona. Real Madrid have Carvajal, but Carvajal didn't get any special versions of cards, unfortunately. He did get one, but it's a PTG card, so there's not really much to work with there. In all honesty, Modric actually wouldn't be a bad player to have on only 7 chemistry. He would actually be like quite solid. You would be able to give him some solid links here and there. So he would be the only player on 7 chemistry with full loyalty on the team. This team doesn't actually end up going to 100 chemistry. So if you want to work with this, you could actually do that. So you put Eriksen off to the middle here, Conte to the right side. In game, if you want to switch to the 4-1-2-1-2, you can do that and put Modric on the right, Eriksen on the left, Conte in the middle, Mars on the side here, Vardy to that side, and then Son on this side over here. Very interesting team working out here. If you want a really crazy attacking presence and you want Eriksen to be your person that's passing the ball to you, although his long shots with his left foot's going to be absolutely banging, you could put him as a cam as well and put Mars off to the left side here. Or if you want a really good work-rated player in the midfield, you could put Mars off to the top here, have a left-footed player on the left striker position, Cam Eriksen, and then Son with high work rates with unbelievably good stats in the midfield. So you got a lot of different teams you can work with the team of the season players. Very, very interesting concepts here and there. So those are the types of teams that you guys can make with some of the team of the season players from the English Premier League. So that is going to conclude today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, please drop a thumbs up on the video. It definitely helps out the channel a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.